Yeah, man. Big news this morning, bro. Big news. Klopp's gone. Klopp's going. Klopp's going. Big news, man. Big news. Like, woke up, opened my Mac. First video titled, Klopp is not asked. I'm thinking, what? Klopp's not asked? Like, what the fuck does that mean? Next video, Klopp. I'm like, what? Anyways, yeah, huge news. And end of an era, really. End of an era. Even end of a Premier League era, really. Like, it feels like this was the Klopp Guardiola era, the past 6-8 years. And yeah, end of an era. Firstly, huge respect to the guy, like huge respect, because for me, he's leaving the club in a good state. And you can see that was really, really important to him, to leave the club in a good state. And most managers don't really think about that much. And so that's a testament to his character, and to how much he actually really does care about the club and really does love the club. So a lot of players or coaches or whatever say that, but you can tell he really means it, and you can tell he's a man of integrity. And I really, really respect that. Like, you think about how he left Dortmund. He didn't mention really much about Dortmund in his interview, but you would imagine that he wanted to avoid leaving on a sour note like he did when he left Dortmund, right? Because the team wasn't in a good state when he left Dortmund. From what I remember, from what I remember, they were like 15th. And after such an amazing time he had with Dortmund, he would have wanted to avoid a similar thing happening with Liverpool, where he has such an amazing time, but then the last year or so isn't so amazing, and he has to leave on a negative note. So yeah, you imagine that thoughts of that came into play. Like, he would have learned a lot from that. I even think about when Sir Alex left Man United, and that team was dog shit. Like, they won the league, but it was on the decline. Like, no manager would really want to inherit that team. Like, he got Van Persie for a year or two and they won the league. But they bought Van Persie at like 31 years of age. So he really wasn't thinking about the future. And yeah, just the entire squad was just on the decline. There was like Vidic, Ferdinand, Rooney, Van Persie, Carrick, Scholes. Like, the whole team was just on the decline. And then the young players were like Welbeck and stuff, right? So anyways, now granted, Sir Alex was there for 26 years and he did his time, and it's not necessarily the responsibility of the manager to make sure that when they leave the club in a good state. It isn't necessarily their responsibility. But despite that, Klopp has done that anyway, which I just really respect. Like, if he left at the end of last season, it would have been like, all right, thanks for the memories. It's not really working out anymore. We need some new ideas. But instead, he's gone, no. Like, let's clean this up. And he's cleaned it up. And he bought an entire new midfield. Like, half the team is different. And the team is in a very good state. They're 5 points clear at the Premier League, right? And now he's decided to announce that he's leaving. So it's like renovating a house to sell the house. And then once you've renovated all of it, and now the property's worth more because it's a really good house, but also you're in the house and it's a really good house. So why would you want to leave, right? But so people might look at it and think like, oh, well, why are you leaving now? Like, everything is so good. But he wanted to leave when everything was good. He wanted the club to be in a good state when he leaves. So it really puts a different perspective in all the recruitment and just the plans that he's put in place over the last year or so, because he knew he was leaving from, I think he said November last year at the start of the preseason. So in preseason. So it puts a different perspective, and just you really appreciate that, like, as a fan, or like for Liverpool fans in general. I mean, I like Liverpool. Like, I would say I'm a Liverpool fan. My number one team is Fiorentina, but like, I would say I'm a Liverpool fan too. So yeah, it just makes you really, really appreciate all the effort he put in, because he didn't have to do that. And as much as, yeah, he should, and no one's bigger than the club, he didn't have to do that. He could have just left. So really, he has the power there, but he's decided to make sure the club is in a good state. And even he said, if I inherited this team when I came, I would be over the fucking moon. So whoever inherits the team is just going to be over the fucking moon, because it's a gun team, right? And you think about the team that he came in with. This is the first team that Jürgen Klopp put out. Simon Mignolet, Nathaniel Klein, Mamadou Sakho, Alberto Moreno, Martin Skrtel, Felipe Coutinho, James Milner, Adam Lallana, Lucas Leiva, Emre Can, and Divock Origi. that team now would finish 14th in the Premier League. Seriously, 14th. And then you're comparing it to the team now, it's just... And it's a credit to the man, because it's, you know, it was all his leadership that got them there. Also, like, Gen Z hates Liverpool now, which is mad. Like, my generation hates Liverpool. But when I was growing up, when I was, like, in year 7 and 8 and meeting all the kids in my high school, and they're like, what team do you like in the Premier League? And I'm like, Liverpool. And they'd be like, what the fuck? Who the fuck goes for Liverpool? And so no one gave a shit. But now everyone hates Liverpool, and it's because they're good. Now, who's going to take the job? It's Xabi Alonso, isn't it? Right? And some people might think, oh, it's too early. He's only 42 years of age. It's too early in his career. But he's undefeated in the Bundesliga with Bayer Leverkusen. He's undefeated, top of the league, in his first season. So I don't think it's too early. And in reality, it's either Liverpool or Real Madrid for Xabi, because Ancelotti is going at the end of the season as well. And whoever takes over that team is inheriting an amazing team for the next 10 years as well. So both Liverpool and Real Madrid are in very good positions. Real Madrid obviously better. I just think that they have more talent. But yeah, if Liverpool doesn't take him at the end of this season, Real Madrid probably will, because they're both going to come calling for Xabi, I think. So what a position for Xabi to be in, really. I mean, like, yeah, I love that Real Madrid team. I love that team, and I'm so excited for what they're going to do for the next 10 years. I think they're going to dominate Europe again. They'll probably win at least 3 Champions Leagues in the next 10 years. So what a team, man. I love that team. And Ancelotti is going to Brazil, which is awesome. I'm very excited for that too, because I'm 23. I never really saw a very good Brazil team. Like, in 2002, they won it. I was 1 year old. In 2006, they were a pretty good team. I was 5. 2010, I don't remember them doing anything memorable, but I barely watched as well. I was 9 years old. 2014, they were an okay team. Like, they were all right. But they lost 7-1, and they had Fred up front. Right? So I've never really seen a Brazil team be like Brazil that they're meant to be. Like, if you think of that Richarlison bicycle kick and like the lob to it, like, and then the commentator said, like, this is Brazil. Like, that's the Brazil you want to see. Like, you watch the World Cup to see Brazil, right? Football is good when Brazil are good. It just is what it is. So it'll be very exciting to have Ancelotti as coach of Brazil, with Vini Jr. and all of them as well. Like, yeah, he'll do really good there. But for Liverpool, they have to get this next appointment right, because they have so much potential for the next 5-10 years, and they just need a really top manager. But a manager can fuck shit up too. A manager with an ego. Like, imagine Liverpool got Antonio Conte, which they never would, but he would fucking wreck that team. And I think Conte's a good coach, but he would just wreck that team. Like, the team would be fucked if they got someone like that. So they need to get that appointment right. The only manager that I really think could be good is Xabi Alonso. I'm not sure if... It's just got to be Xabi Alonso, right? Like, there's not really much else to it. It's not really... Like, you have to get Xabi Alonso. You have to. But yeah, tremendous respect for Klopp. You can see in the interview, which isn't really that common of a thing, to have like a 20-minute interview for a manager to announce that he's leaving a club. Most of the time, managers get sacked in the morning and then that's it. But that's the way Klopp does things. That's the way this Liverpool team does things. Liverpool are a very, like, the fandom of Liverpool is a very emotional fandom. So it really works. But like, in other clubs that might not work, to have like such a long interview for a manager to announce he's leaving the club. Also, did they do the right thing by announcing it now? I think yes, because now they're top of the league. Whenever he was going to announce it, it was always going to be a big deal and cause some commotion, right? But to do it now, so far away from the end of the season, now everyone's going to process it. There's going to be a few games right after the announcement where everyone's going to be like, oh my God, Klopp is leaving, other players playing shit now, other players stressed out, or some bullshit, whatever the fuck. There's going to be sensationalism, whatever the fuck it is. But that will die out. And then near the end of the season, people will remember again, like, yeah, this is Klopp's last year, especially if they're in the title race then. And that will help them. But because it's already common knowledge by then, it'll actually help them. Whereas if he announced it near then, it'd be a fucking disaster. It'd be a distraction from the goal of winning the league. So hopefully they are in the title race by the end of the season. We'll see. I hope so. But even though they're 5 points clear, everyone is still like, nah, man, like, City's going to walk it now. De Bruyne is back. City's going to walk it. Which I get it, but I just hope that doesn't happen. Like, my head says that City will probably win it, but my heart says it'll be a really good title race. But people think City are just going to walk the league now, so I don't know. Like, Liverpool don't have bottle like Arsenal have bottle, right? And I say that, that's disrespectful to Arsenal. That feels so disrespectful. Anyways, but yeah, huge respect for Klopp. Yeah, I hope he takes the Germany job too. I hope in a few years because I feel like international coaching is a lot less stressful. Because really, it's a tournament every couple years, and then you just have the international games like every couple months. And the rest of the time is just like making sure your players are good and picking the right players and things like that. So I feel like that's the next job for Klopp. If you're tired, bro, you need a break, take a few years off, do the Germany job, man. That would be sick. Bro, Ancelotti coaching Brazil and Klopp coaching Germany, that's hectic. And Mourinho coaching Portugal. We need to see Mourinho coaching Portugal, please, bro. Anyways, thanks for watching, cuz. Have a good week. Cheers. Leave a like, you mad cunt. Thanks.